A few years ago, my husband was turning 50 when I was 12, and I said, what would you like to do? And he said, oh, I think it'd be really cool to go on a safari in Africa. And one of my kids said, oh yeah, but wouldn't it be cool if we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro? And I was like, that's really high. We were living in Melbourne at the time, at sea level, and you know, we're not exactly the Von Trapp family. We don't go hiking every weekend. And anyway, I decided, okay, so my son Ben, he put together this PowerPoint presentation, and he did this whole thing. He used the Rocky soundtrack, you know, and it was like, for Dad's 50th, we will climb to the rooftop of Africa. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And so I started doing research and getting organised, and we headed over to Tanzania, and we did this a week-long route because my youngest, Matthew, was only 13 at the time, and kids, when they're younger, their blood doesn't adjust to the higher altitude and the lack of the lower oxygen levels. And on summit day, we got up at 1 in the morning and we started hiking, and within 30 minutes, Matthew was throwing up, and within another hour, my son Ben, whose idea it was, he was throwing up, and I was like, this is a really bad idea. And we kept moving so slowly, like we were going about this slowly, like that slowly. And then finally, after many breaks, we got to the summit 9 hours after we started out. And we were all lying there flat on our backs. We didn't speak much. The rest of the trip, we'd been singing and telling jokes. That day, we didn't speak. I said, guys, we've got to get a photo. And so this is the photo we took at the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, prior to that, I thought, oh, maybe one day it'd be really cool to try to do Mount Everest. After that day, I was like, I am never going up that high, ever, 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 never, ever again. But I share that story with you. One, we were lucky, they were checking our oxygen levels, because it is possible, even if you're super fit, that you cannot get to the top. A lot of people don't. About 70% of people get there, about 30% don't. Some people die. But the reason I share that with you is because we would never have accomplished that had we stuck with what was reasonable to achieve. We didn't hike at altitude. We didn't really hike at all that much as a family. We were moderately fit, but not super fit. But we said, let's do this. That sounds like a really cool thing to do. And we were inspired by a vision that was exciting, and the idea that we would all do this together was really cool. And because we were inspired by that, we dug deeper and we accomplished more than we would ever have accomplished had we just stuck with, well, what's the odds that we mightn't make it? And how hard is it? And if we'd focused on all the reasons why not, why we couldn't do it. Oh, well, Matt's only 13 and Ben's only 14 and, you know, and I'm not that fit, and on it would go. You have no idea what you're capable of doing if you don't dare to do more than you have done before. And if you only stick with what is within your comfort zone, within your range of, I know I could do this, you will never even try to do what you're capable of doing. We had a big why. We thought this would be a really cool thing to do as a family. And you know what? It was a really cool thing to do as a family. And we all will remember what we did for my husband's 50th birthday. And in 25 years, when I turn 50, who knows what we'll do.